opportunity. Many of my questions will be public interest questions. I am not a lawyer, so forgive me if I don't come across as such. First of all, earlier some colleagues asked you questions about, at least to us ordinary people, the question of contempt of court, especially the Supreme Court, is quite a nebulous one because we read, I have read severe criticisms of, for instance, the Supreme Court judgment in the United States, where even speakers described judgments in quite severe terms, and we don't see anything. But it's as if in Ghana, people are ordinary until they become Supreme Court judges, and they say, look, you can't say that about Supreme Court judges. What exactly
Honorable Member, that's not correct. So, kindly take that out of your...
Which one is?
That they are ordinary until they become Supreme Court judges. No. It's not what you think. It's not correct. Please. Honorable, let me guide you. What? Honorable Suhini, please.
Okay, let me say it this way. I see ordinary people I know as lawyers, and the day they become Supreme Court judges, it's as if they are completely different human beings that must be treated. I'm saying, that is my view. Why don't you allow me? Honorable Esla, even when you were saying things about Honorable Yariga, which were not factual, we allowed you to say
proceed with your question, please.
Is it? Oh, no, you said she came through a by-election. But
and he corrected that right there and then. We have a right to do that. If
Chairman, is she actually the chairman currently?
But if you mention my name and make an incorrect statement,
then why don't you just allow me to make?
Can I have some order here?
You mentioned my name.
Honorable Minister, please. I haven't given you the floor. I shouldn't give you. I haven't given you the floor. Please proceed.
Okay. Your Ladyship, is it the case that when the boundaries of what contempt is are not quite clear, people are allowed to say whatever they say? Now you have gone beyond the boundary. My question is this.
Truth is no defense.
I can see that you are a scholar because you've written books and you've done certain things. Will you make a commitment to perhaps help codify the what you call contempt and describe the boundaries so that in the case that somebody is making comment, the person will know that you don't have to be a lawyer, but you know that this is the boundary. Would you help or give an assurance that there will be a way to codify what is contempt in this country? Because ever so often, Your Ladyship, we've seen, even colleagues, members of parliament, one person will say one strange thing about the judiciary, and in the eye of the public, he gets patted at the back of his hand, and then another one comes from the other side, and it's as if that person is treated completely differently. And I'm saying this, you know what I'm saying. I take the case, listen, I take the case of the Muntie 3, and then our own colleague, Honorable Kennedy Ejepon. And as an ordinary person in the country, I ask myself, what is the balance? Why is it difficult for the court to come up with a similar judgment so that we know the boundaries? So that is why I said that I'm not a lawyer. So if you answer this question, then you ask, you tell me whether it is necessary for us to codify what contempt is so that ordinary people know the boundaries within which we protect the sanctity and the integrity of our courts and the practitioners for our own good. That's my first question.
You know, the challenge of our work is that every case is fact specific. So you have myriads and millions of different sets of facts. And then we have sets of legal principles. And our job is to apply the principles to the different sets of facts. sometimes the law that's applicable is in statutes, sometimes is in common law principles, etc. Sometimes is in regulations, different arenas of law. That's the challenge of our work. That's the skill we apply. And therefore, I can understand why you may be confused about why this and why not that one. It may be the facts of the case. I'm not vouching for it, but it may be different facts. In asking why the Supreme Court responds, I think that I had earlier indicated that we are custodians of 400 courts, judges, hapless citizens who are doing their best. And we must ensure that the administration of justice is not denigrated in a manner that is not allowed by law. On the issue of whether the law on contempt can be codified, I think that's a very interesting request. I will look at it.
Thank you. Instance, they call it birth registration form A. B, a portion called B, particulars of mother. Under that, 9, it states a national of. So the mother has to state whether he's a Ghanaian or she's a Ghanaian or not. And then when you come to C, under that, 16, also the father, you have to state the national of the father. When you come to the certificate that is issued to the person, it is quite clearly written the nationality of the person, because the person have ticked the 2 boxes. The mother or the father is a Ghanaian. Therefore, he or she qualified to be a Ghanaian. So if today, the ruling, according to our colleague, is that a birth certificate is just a mere record of birth, what then? Why it is as if a birth certificate is not a proof of nationality? Meanwhile, on the form, you will have to certify clearly that you are a national before you are given a certificate as a national of this country.
Apply yourself to Article 8 of the Constitution. Apply yourself to Article 8 of the
Honourable Member, Honourable Chair, citizenship is a matter of law.
Precisely. The Constitution.
Nationality is a matter of law. Certain jurisdictions, being born in that place makes you a citizen of that country. In our country, being born in Ghana doesn't make you a citizen of Ghana. It is your relationship with your mother, it is your mother's identity, your father's identity, it is your lineage that determines your citizenship. So, that form records, that form is actually an international requirement. We must know where everybody is born. That form assists to know your antecedents. But beyond that, your nationality is derived from the information on that form. It is not the evidence of your nationality. It is the beginning of appreciating how your nationality must be determined. It's an originating process.
So if I hold a birth certificate duly issued by a state institution in Ghana, Registrar of Births and Deaths, and it states nationality, Ghanaian, are you saying that that is not enough proof of the nationality of the bearer of that certificate?
May I answer you this way? If you had an English person come and live in Ghana and have a baby in Ghana, that person would have a birth certificate. But that person's record of the parents on that birth certificate would indicate that they are not Ghanaian. So the certificate is a record of where he was born. It is not an indication of the citizenship.
So, for instance, I've already said that in the generation of the certificate, I quoted on birth registration form A, Part B, particulars of mother, because if your mother is a Ghanaian, a child from that mother can claim.
Honorable member, from the birth certificate, if your mother is Ghanaian, if your father is Ghanaian, then we can conclude that you are Ghanaian. But from that certificate, if your mother is not Ghanaian, your father is not Ghanaian, that certificate is a record that you are not a Ghanaian. So it is a record that allows us to, I am doing legal deduction. I don't know how else to express myself.
So can I use a birth certificate issued by the births and deaths in this country that says I'm a Ghanaian? Can I use it to prove my nationality as a Ghanaian?
The birth certificate will never tell you that you are Ghanaian. The birth certificate records where you were born and the nationality of your parents.
So the information on that certificate that says that my mother is a Ghanaian, my father is a Ghanaian, would that be sufficient to prove my nationality as a Ghanaian?
No. Would be sufficient to arrive at the conclusion that you are Ghanaian. It's the beginning point.
Karen, your ladyship. Your ladyship, can a Ghanaian passport holder use a Ghanaian passport as proof of being a Ghanaian?
I believe so. Because before you arrive at the passport, all your antecedents, such as a birth certificate, would have been evaluated.
Okay. By your, I'm saying it in a very respectful way. By your age, I don't know where my birth certificate is today. By your age, it is more likely that if you are asked to prove your nationality, you might produce your passport rather than birth certificate. Is that the case?
I have my birth certificate.
Okay, what Mrs. Speaker, once she offered that she's got it, can she produce it to be added? Oh yes, to be added to the document. Yes, Mr. Speaker. I did not ask for it. She volunteered it, so if she can add it to the document we are requesting.
Let's proceed with your further questions, please.
I have another question. Thank you very much, Chairman, for the opportunity. Many of my questions will be public interest questions. I am not a lawyer, so forgive me if I don't come across as such. First of all, earlier, some colleagues asked you questions about, at least to us ordinary people,
Abusu ami samu ajomo akwaba bi mfache ya fidie no hote chuma kakra ya saba mframa mi ka say original TV amanyo senjumede na gusu a wo hwene na yakoye dwada yi me bosumi leta so dadio no enkono aka na fo mienu na bosumi so ye dia kogu ni ewura bosumi ensiamu na enimse bosu ne bepa mu ne de ewrade ye ne a ebi akoma so ade nya mamu no efa tosu mienu na ewrade ade be mayen na nanwumre so ye be hie ye be dika na ho nkomo nse bebre na akoso fi na anu fiada be si ne Chief of Staff, Chief Justice Nominee, Kopiemu Parliamentary Appointment Committee, and some bisa ni BAE be the Achawa Moa, who the course when the and some would be brazen na PPM, Mampin, another Kokufuado, and Rawan Ghana for a Kasai about the state of COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine war, no one sends some IMF deal, and one sends some in our so equaponus when they did home commodity kind. So, but chamber of Fidino Afrina catches a brand I bring for video to original TV. So and all social media handles so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, in our original TV with me fully horses I met me like a pages in fully programs in and be able to YouTube no original TV. Me am the Jumadio cham me didn't see some honto in the media bit from the captain of the dress shop from my mafia majo so na ene some koma a course over the weekend last Friday about Chief Justice Nominee Justice Gertrude Tokunu about the birth certificate. One issue is di hu nkoma odwene ho a won ti ase. Either say do mo kan na abawom ana say do mo kan na banim odwene ho a enkonkosi no afa ne saa je say law no maka ho ase. But na me pese ye take it down. Na yen call law school, me call law school. Na bia wo so call law school, wa call law school tie ma wo de yemfa fie nyansa a ye friend common sense and na just natural law na yemfa church na maybe as ne say whether we are making sense with the laws of this country and na say we are just making mockery of our own intelligence as say bi enim nyansa na so yetata mrachi hu yon say nyansa and na say bi o yenim nyansa ntini emra no ne yente ase we see one sign na yeni san komo no e wo fidie ma but asana na ma men kan say ma fadie a she mi na de me marketing be bar of so wa me pacho yi number ni fro na menya marketing farmer MJ we na omo costume insanity me ma 3 sister na me pese obi a be ka kire eye baron say na sexy man me pese obi a wo de say won kan fo me a men kan fo obi a so o fidie ma ntime pacho MJ eye we omo na pam ntade fefefe omo okolebu heye odi hian so be friend number no friend number na star bia so wa o star on be pam ma o pese so omo stars ahodo be pre omo abetimi ahwe o stature no ma hwe event ne be bia wo de kono ma hu say pam say di ma wa na be ye fenti MJ we e wo kolebu mo wa de so be get in touch with them no so e ma honye fese dem ho ye fese achimi but ne yanko na yenhwe edema ba ko mienu miensa bi e wo eye nano yensia de bi free eye the course. Supreme Court will really say birth certificate any form of identity. That ruling whereby prior to 2020 election. Before that, no, na Ghana the nim say birth certificate a form of identity. And na electoral commission a registration bia o birth certificate to kwa ejina so hwe so Ghana ni register passport ultimate the call we registration bia wo school ana any application bia wo birth certificate kan che nationality and to say 2020 Supreme Court ebe will aka say any form of an identity national identity na de ko ba nyina ne say na kwa ko new voters register for na new voters register for no requirement no and electoral commission ye birth cert ni edi free mo and ko fa sanchi wa show ne ba ne de court na Supreme Court this ruling ne ba a free says ruling ne ba and this ruling has never sat well with the Ghanaians and ne se bi o ya dwen ni etirimo ne nyansa eni ahia because odwene ho a won te ase na ede na ma Ghana for including myself ye be feel say birth certificate is a form of national identity ye betimi a kire nipa no o man kra ofri mu ananse nipa so a oye e wo birth certificate no so ede anso na betimi a kyesa ampa ye ntimi nyina birth certificate so enyina so nkase nipa simesi we Ghana ni Togo ni anase Benin yenhwe ade bi wa ha so call birth cert na so kwa registration na omo form sa form omo friend form A. Form A no na be fill all your details in same bisa wo do bebre wo so. And then na be fill we are na fe do certificate na gina so eya the amount. And so far from A now our questions mako about 22 of them. And the birth registration report from A and into registration code, serial number, and in register, and also Edaha. But what's the particulars of child? Si akwada no a ya wo no na ye be ne birth certificate no ne ho adanse ana se ensema ya trobini. 1 what's the first name akwada ni din entity se me Samuel Honto. My first name no Samuel middle name ebi ameseme de yawo me surname ni Honto ni atro. Sex so your ba na se bema so ye bema no ateke bema. Date of birth da ben ye wo no na wa bo date no. Type of birth say awo ben operation na say den eno ni akere awo ho. Place of entry hospital ben ye wo no clinic ben maternity home ben efie ben mu ne ye wo no na eda ho ntisi wo hospital ane ateke ya wo clinic ane ateke say ye maternity home ne wo ane ateke say ye home delivery say ye wo abofra no ofia ne ateke. Other specification enso na da wo say attendant at birth ti say nipa o je wa wo onu sini din na da ho. Other specification na da ho oba ha see detailed address of place of delivery chese baby wo abofra no hospital ni din afi ya clinic ni din maternity home ni din say house number ben ya wo abofra no house na wo abofra no na street name street ben so na wo okro be mu district be mu na wo region be mu na wo ente be kire hospital ya wo brono a ya wo so street ya wo so kro ni din ene region na ewom ni nyina obe state ni nyina ewom. Oba B particulars of mother about time na maami no wo abofra no no so ne ho nsem enyeni abisa first name maami ni din kan so bia ya kosua mansa ye boa so me first name ya kosua na me middle name ye mansa surname ni ye boa no atro ewo ho age na watro ni mfiedudu a wadie national of wo your man be nipa enti say akosua mansa ye Ghana ni anu atro ha national of ye Ghana na chese o chese wo ye Ghana ni ba. Okay. Oba number 10 question number 10. Place and address of usual residence. And also our house number, street name, town or village, district and a region. Ni nyina so ewo mu a oba fele maame na owo abofra no. Oba fele sa na nyina ewo so pepepe. Otoa so at the bar. The same from A no question number 11. And also ebisa number of children. Chese maame na wo obetimi state ni nyina ewo ho enso particulars no ewo ho. Oba ha say ya particulars of father eja no a abofra ne ye ne ba no ono so no hu din papa ne first name ne middle name ne surname ana national of enti papa ne bebo ne din obechocho ne din nyina ho we ye oman be nipa so ye Ghana ni a national of Ghana na eno so da ho emfie se na wadie ne mfie na eno so eyade a eda ho na busa say occupation adwuba ben na wo eye ye busa level of formal education papa ni bebusa level of formal education say ye basic school say primary school say ye middle school secondary school and tertiary na ni nyina wa take e wo box we say sim we a na busa say occupation adwuba ben na papa no wo ye enti so ye kua ni wo ye carpenter ni wo ye teacher ni no atro e wo ho religion esom ben na wo so wo ye kristoni wo ye kramoni wo ye sebio traditionalist no be kire ni nyina so e wo ho wo ba ha say susu a gainful employment adwuma be na odwuma na wo ye no wa adwuma ana se obi na fo adwuma wa atro wa take na ko ba bi wo ba ha say susu a higher particulars of information bi a nipa na okohwa abofra na me atro ndi nya ne maame nya ne papa na mu bi ohwesofo bi a ono nso so obetro ne din and the first name second name and in relationship to abofra no so me wo fa ase so me sister ba so me cousin obetro ne nyina e wo honom na afi registrar a ohwe ye ma bibia timi course no no ono so the date ni day of registration ni etumi dia ba. So these are the information we be provided on form A national birth certificate forms no registration forms no form A no. These are the information we be provided as many as 8 answers ni nyina no is about abofra no de nkan ne maame ne papa baby ewo no baby etete no nyina sa na ma nyina eda di pefe ohonum na so wie enu nyina birth certificate de be ma no say na tie na we dey a copy of the birth certificate. Now I just copied this from the internet, but Tiana etie. So we are using this for the emphasis of this analysis and nothing more. Until a certified copy of entry in register of birth and the entry number registration and register or entry number. Then no about registry Liberation Road baby no say registration here or memia who do be no no child's name enti abafrani edi eni Abigail Mensa sex then female or your bar enti oba or say father abafrani papa di name Isaac Miracle, occupation chainsaw operator, nationality Ghana, religion Christian, maiden name Comfort Edu, that's abofrane mamidin. Abofrane mamidin no Comfort Edu. Nationality Ghana. And the birth certificate we forms na wana chese abofrane din Isaac Abigail Mensa ne papa Isaac Miracle. We change operator or ye Ghana ni ye Christo ni ne mame Comfort Edu. Nationality so say Ghana ni ye bisasa when born brebe na ewo abofra no 30th September 1984. Yawo no 30th September afe apem ahankono ediowotwe enan ene yawo no where born ehemfa na ewo abofra no second D second day Metropolitan Assembly Western Region eho ene yawo no Western Region Ghana eho na yawo abofra no the informant nipa okoye registration dem abofra no timinya abofra no maame ne papa na de koye the informant no so den Agnes Bedu chese ode abofra no koye birth cert na Agnes Bedu ye busa no say relationship to what or say father sister na chese abofra no papa nua ba enti abofra no aunt na se no soa na koye registration ma no date of registration 22nd October 2015 the signature of the registrar Tudora Fomi and da hon margin and da hon. So this is it. And to over baby omo koye na Liberation Road second day Takrade Assembly and da ho papa. So this is the birth cert. This is when say the common sense question I want to ask myself and ask me person yin na answer and say abofrei ya won Ghana ya won second day Takrade abofrei mame Ghana ni abofrei papa Ghana ni abofrei ya won Ghana enti sa abofra we oye den oye oman be nipa onye Ghana ni because yamra kire say se be wo Ghana eno alone nche so Ghana ni na emu bi oye Ghana ni wo bi a nchi efri Ghana ne maame ana ne papa na se nchi na ancestors efri Ghana ene ye Ghana ni enti ye call forms na ye fele ye no forms a ye fele wa han nyina chese abofra ne maame ne papa mu nyina Ghana fo ya kire ba bi omote adwuma mo ye esom mo som kro mo free mu abofra ne ya kire ba bi ewo no hospital ewo no kra ewo no street ewo no mu region kra ewo no mu ena ede aba ena oba eye the final certificate no so a kire sa abofra ne maame Ghana ni ne papa Ghana ni enti sa abofra yi a ye frɛ no Abigail Mensa ane maame Ghana ni na ne papa Ghana ni ne ewo ne Ghana no ye den ni onye Ghana ni. So do I need to carry this certificate and this information? Now I say me dey call passport office. Now passport for je ma me passport and sana chesa abofra we Ghana ni. This is the common sense and logic ye bisa ho asem asebio e kire ya adwene no. Same fa ne say abofra yi wonne maame ene papa nya Ghana ni ye be state. So okay nationality ni den because the day nationality ni baaye no ye nim say Ghana ha nya Ghana fo nko ana wa ha. Ye nim say nkrofo so wa ha omo fi o man omo so wo a awoso omo so enya on birth certificate. So abofra nationality Cote d'Ivoire Ivory Coast and Cote d'Ivoire. Ne papa ye Cote d'Ivoire. Automatically abofra ne won Ghana but onye Ghana ni. And say me ena mete forms table when I may register me take event can say information about obi a or apply for job and also or ba be voters ID card na me fa this form okay me come here se ne ma me Ghana ni ne papa Ghana ni won Ghana ni automatically abofra ne Ghana ni. I don't need to have or I don't need to get a passport of that child or Ghana card of that child for me to know say ampa sabo from Ghana ni when Ghana constitution say will be an inchi ne maame ne papa anane nananom ne nananom free Ghana ye Ghana ni na abofra ne na busiafo nyina free Ghana ne maame free Ghana ne papa free Ghana ne awon Ghana automatically we Ghana ni abofra ni hia passport ansana ya kire say ampa we Ghana ni abofra ni don't deserve to go for a year Ghana card ansana determine nationality ni. That's not supposed to be. And it's a buy na sabo frey ne maami e Cote d'Ivoire ni ne papa e Cote d'Ivoire ni a woni Ghana. Ghana so kire say ye be wo Ghana na se wunchi kura mfiri Ghana Ghana. It automatically abofra ne nya Ghana ni. And this birth certificate enough for you to know say ampa abofra we asimasi na obenti wo Ghana ni anaso nya Ghana ni. But the Supreme Court is saying say you cannot use this birth certificate to determine will be nationality. If you don't need it there, then why do we have to provide all this information? Our constitution is say. So my no papa no nchiri fi Ghana nkwane wo Ghana we Ghana ni. Empo si anwo Ghana hampo my no papa ye Ghana ni. Ni anwo Ghana na ekowu abrochi kra na we Ghana ni. So my no papa free Ghana han kwade we Ghana ni. Na how much more obi ane maame ne papa ye Ghana ni awo no Ghana saase so. Sabofra need to get a passport before asoma be Ghana ni. What determines obi nationality? We should get this thing say. And it's not even the birth certificate when the bachelor so Ghana ni. It's not even the passport or Ghana card ne bachelor Ghana ebe yo Ghana ni. Because all this in yama ye kan ho asem no. E ye bra ya wo wansa. Ya wu wi ansa na kwa esa na ma we nyina. Enti before wo be ya birth certificate kra ye ni mu nationality. Before be kwa ye passport kra no ye ni mu nationality. Before be kwa ye Ghana card no ye ni mu nationality. So why are we limiting say before ye ba be Ghana card we no na birth certificate a form of identity and to be kwa control ni din since 1992 registration aye nyina no croford obo birth certificate ko control mu din voters ID card a we Ghana ni pe and anya voters ID card to aba and croford omo passport koje omo de omo birth certificate koje passport we Ghana ni pe and e be issue Ghanaian passport di amawo now all of a sudden Ghana card ni nya ba ye some few years ago, no, after the birth certificate now ceased to be the form of national identity. It means, and ne, same mama me papa, so ni Ghana card, onye Ghana ni. Same mama me papa, any passport wa, onye Ghana ni. Se wakokra no otifie no, so ni Ghana card, chese onye Ghana ni. Se onye oni cancer passport onye Ghana ni. Meanwhile, the 1992 constitution is say. For be to be described and I say be fro be so e Ghana ni no obi a ne nchi ne nananom ne papanom ne maamenom ne nana e kasa ne nana nankanso anom e free Ghana. That is where the nationality of you as a Ghanaian it derives from the constitution and not the Ghana card or the passport. But this is the ruling of Supreme Court Diaba. Sometimes I feel like that ruling was political because it was debate between MPP and NDC prior to 2020 election. And they gave that ruling. And for that matter, maybe somehow they think, so we have to defend it. But sometimes when you subject this to common sense and make kind of say, yes, common sense, if you answer, Sebi, so Ghana as a country, I leave it to you as a viewer. So providing all these details we ne casual say these details are proving in cannot determine so we are Ghana and so Ghana. I leave it to you. But your WhatsApp number under the screen. So bet me a phone send them message so they are brave. Now can you now ha at the amount. We try to tell them about me ba ya besham komase. Abusia for do ya tentam penyon for adwo madwa our house so bet me adwo conversation by WhatsApp. Number near to screen is send messages in February. We didn't be sending message in free idea who here papa na mekens and king canina and farmer and penny for if you do more Yenia Samuel Aikwe a Deputy General Secretary Dima LPG Nemrane a Baron Adwe Pomia de Uncle Pardon Nemon Pipe Radiasi Sanso Anna Yenia Kingsley Amaliba a national communication team member, the opposition National Democratic Congress on so video more. Comrade, my joy.
Area Sabi.
there.
I have MPP buying Ghana Police Service. Where also Ghana Police Service or more service with integrity. Because where there is service, there is no integrity. And where there is integrity, there is no service. But you see, me didn't know no JB.
I said one another, you had a tiano casement, me mono food.
Yes.
And Timia, the would what permit me say
Haruna and Maliba Kingsley. And for your information,
I come back home.
I didn't hear more.
And I call the
silence.
Okay.
There are places, there are four of my boss.
Haruna.
No. And Maliba Kingsley. We are outsider. We be the CEO, but you were the last name in the bush of one corner.
Okay.
So
Haruna Amaliba Kingsley.
Full stop.
Okay. Good. That's papa. Now Yajan Command as I'm chance for free a baron. The issue of birth certificate as a form of national identity or not. A pop up last Friday, Brian Betty, the Chief Justice nominee, Mame Gertrude Tokunu. We're defending as it is say yes, birth certificate cannot be used to declare one's nationality. Nemum ade abetimi deduce information from the birth certificate to ascertain say we were Ghanaian and also Ghanaian. Are you still convinced about the ruling or about any explanation of the brain here during birth last Friday?
That's Siminia Hunto, Mincha, Washefo, Moshe, original TV and then Imre. Na Mincha, no Jumaya 4. Mincha, my leader, the founder, His Excellency Kofi Akpaloo. And Minu Amaliba. Na Hunto, answer na Mekosa Assembly, me Mao, UNICEF 4 website.
Okay.
Na me pesa wona wo kan magana for about what they stated. What they stated about the birth certificate.
Okay.
How important ehu hia e wo man bia se o man bia no ebenya ne birth certificate a ene dia eyema o man na uhia me I can even give the time for you to read it for the viewers.
I want to be 2 minutes there. Show yourself here and let's go. Okay, what do kasa what's in the waiting for it.
O share na say o kan ya obehunu say a corona ye woman we are losing focus and direction. And ya nye careful ye be use politics. E dia say ye niama bebre wo o man we mu. Because I was watching the vetting. Na me share na Usha questions are yet to Tuma incoming Chief Justice if permitted by the Parliament. Now sometimes no jun say politics why e wo nya maybe mu because birth certificate ye nyina ye nim say e bibia yade ye bibia from start even po so koji sa Ghana card kra na you need birth certificate that time Saudi and yes or say amount for ba so we believe in 2 or 3 people coming to vow for you say oh omunimu omunia no omebusua no dan your birth certificate na ye use for very long time na menua eye mobo eye ya say we are having this kind of problem ewo ye chrome to me I don't know reason ntia Amra say we shouldn't see birth certificate as an identity as a Ghanaian. Making Yawuwa and can we put the first thing that you are supposed to get from the hospital as Aubebano should be say benya birth certificate ama. Ye kro mu hape menu ahunto ye kro mu hape. Kro we mu pe e na sa wo untumi instantly nya birth certificate to hospital ho gisa wo di akwala no kofie ekotu ni din eye outdoor ye bibie wi ansa wakọ akọpre birth certificate eno so okoso enye kwa uhia ni instant asoro ne bo uhia de ebeche so asoro ne bo ye wo krom how we know how people are really struggling to get this identity eti Yeah, boy, good no more. We don't want to use it. And then I implement policy. A bit to me, I say, oh, akwala no hospital hona. Ni issue amano. We are doing all this because we claim, say, foreigners. 18 voters book more mu use Ghana card. Sorry, mu use birth certificate, which they easily acquired it, and then they were able to go through the system. Yes, we understand the fact, say, system be ABT. Na broni no crowd this system ne buy akra Ghana for bebre ntu kwan ko hoye nkonya citizenship. Ekwan man for faso crowd nya citizen will be mine so no. Sometimes the system, creative system, building system, people beat the system. But the more people are beating the system, the more I was also the new measures say, so let's change the ways we do it. But not say because ye freeze into Siano. Then you will be a hospital. I want to find out who you as the media to ask them. Say, into see will be a the Ghana card or hospital or street. And now say you be man the birth certificate still. Are we cancelling the birth certificate? Yeah, non and void. Say nye juma bill, or we will still be using it. If we use it, what will be the purpose?
Because birth certificate, I can't say Ghana card and such as about friend in saying, is it 15 years or 7 years?
I think some artists say I'm best at my infancies. I don't know how true it is though, but if that is what they want to replace it with, said you treaty some baby memuha. Instead of sad, then you create a problem, no dada. It should be there. Then you bring different measures. That kind of
ghost names.
And we are the first people in Africa that complain about racist. Yeah, before you're racist, now we are not racist. Obi free Nigeria. Wabetina krumuha. Wawari Ghana ni. One nawo. One akwala nawo. Eti one nawo no. Maybe so. Is it because of say papa no? Eye Nigerian. Or ti krumuha. Bibi eye biade otobi. Eti ane ho tax no. Yen tumi enkasa oye Ghanaian na. Aye wo akwala no ha. So in this case, if they are going to look for Ghana card, is it say because papa ni kuta Nigeria dinti no? Akwala na nye Ghanaian na. You see, we are doing a lot of things that gradually, no, tone your right. Like, we are not using a nyamana yenye fi say a future. No. We are just putting them all away because of politics. Politics are saying my way. Politics are be bia. We will target to rate. So I deal with you free or you wage. Like, I mean, all because of votes. Let us go back and re-look at, and I like how betting committee for Ebisa question, especially I don't know the name of that member of parliament, though Kwame Abuja was asking very, 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 very great questions. Now, she baby crying now or contradicting in some way.
Yeah,
you can't do away.
So, I think say at a point or realize it.
Yes. You can't do away with. Although I know say she's not the only person.
She tried to hide behind the law and say something. No,
because she didn't do it alone. She did not pass that law alone. There are many. For all you know, she might be against the law.
Okay,
but because of say omudo osunti to me make. But I think say
okay. I was trying to get the projection, but it seems the WhatsApp now a bit.
So I think say it's good. Say you may yes. Ube to me read it from.
I will say this is from UNICEF. UNICEF say in some countries birth registration is taken for granted as a norm following childbirth, but in too many others, it's a critical step missing to establish a child legal proof of identity. Without it, children are invisible to their government, meaning they could miss out on their right being protected and upheld, as well as essential services like healthcare and education. The birth of around 1/4 of children under the age of 5 worldwide have never been recorded. These children's lives matter, but they cannot be protected if government don't even know they exist.
We remember at us later anytime. Yeah, boy, because here my way mono. Yeah, nimre bia ebo akwala ho ban. So we don't need their records. Because if you need their records or you have a policy that's a bon kwala banya, you understand the importance of birth certificates. You understand the importance of when you give birth, you have to record. For all you know, if only you want to have the credible data, say, where I want to say, start it from the hospitals, start it from baby I won't kwala. See a wa kwala na. You took when you hubio, near the idea about monsa, na ma monsa. Na ma ne born in sana, you are supposed to provide the child now, but nim dia de betono. Akwala na obewo no unim dia ode beto akwala na wose wo twen ko fie ko tu ni din yesa nyama, so you can take the database from there. Those old in the system no bro ni believe say wo ye den omu nyina betwem wo ye den, they will not stay alive forever. So the more they keep going, the more we are getting neglected. It's anya ade a obetumi na overnight say ne ya metena se abo egu say we nyina ye use ntu obi anko nenim no nko different thing. It doesn't work like that. It takes process for you to delete old system and build a new system. Those that are in the system already, they are no mortals. Nyankopon beton sa frem ombeko. Etin ketua na eba no, who did the right data na starting from them. You start from there first. Enuti na yekro mu ha. Obi to me we junior high school, senior high school, no chira there or nursery school, any primary. Because you feel say that is where they deserve. Ye mo aye nyi aya boy ebre wi a woti classroom nto woti classroom na message aba sa akwala pampers asan. Na dia e change na we afi no ye mo na PhD for echere ya dia, but we call on more different. They believe that the fundamental is the most important. So if you don't hold doctorate, you can never teach. Untumi nchira kwala dia almost that time no madwin mu ebie. That is how abroni na dia ye kwa na ekosua ba any different. So yeah, but maybe I just want to know, maybe they want to replace the birth certificate with the Ghana card. The hospitals ni nyina they will place Ghana card machine there. You work akwala na instantly na near your Ghana card ho ama no. And now mo fam ramra sa akwala no mo de no ko. Ehun yan so obenya birth certificate. Odi 10 years and 15 years ah. Mo fa nembra hospital ho na enya Ghana card ma no. No fa nkoje ne passport. Oh, I don't really get it. I don't know the.
Wo de tia bebe chiri madwene say. Say obi ye Ghana ni anaso onye Ghana ni no. E wo 1992 constitution. And the 1992 constitution, amaleba wo constitution wa ane. Okay. 1992 constitution say obi a ni free Ghana or ye Ghana ni. Enti wo ma me no papa betima akotena brochire. Omo ye Ghana for matu bata akotena brochire. Once omo ye Ghana for no ye Ghana ni. Wo ye Ghana ni. O ma me no papa betimi atena ha anyemo. Na o ma me akwa brochire akwa wo say the most time politicians no omo ye no. Oba no ko wo brochire ho no mo a akola no se sa o ma ne gitum se abofra bia wo no ho bia ye o mo de hia sa abofra no se America or American oba Ghana so ye Ghana ni ena ewom ena kofa passport kofa birth certificate ni so a kire se abofra ne mama ye Ghana ni a kire ne nationality ne papa ye Ghana ni a kire ne nationality enti de na timi ka chem se ade a kire abofra ne na papa nationality ne mama nationality enti mi nche se abofra ne de o ye Ghana ni.
So I think they have to come clear to give explanation of the reason to Omuye. But to me, you know, I don't think it was a right decision. So Omudesa, Mombeka se Ghana card, birth certificate, me in fact, she see ayawaha, emiaka se, yebe to me, yusu ye Ghana card ye 2 coin na passport no. So we don't respect our passport anymore. Yeah, waha. Ema yebeka say okoye o same card a. Untumi fa any ID card bi anya apart from Ghana card. Ukuta passport kra untumi fa nko register o same card. The only thing they want to take is passport. We there na utu kwan. Na say o kwa o person you treat you different from another person because wa ukro mu kra mo passport mumbu no. Enti we do tu kwan na we do ho na ye hu passport ni ye regard o. Ye treat you well. Don't call it racist because your own country. You are experiencing the racist in your own country where you have the ID. They have asked you, say, "Ade we wabo honka wa brand we nya." Nso to me fa nyehwe. Yes, I will copy Ghana card. Ghana card abeye bibia. Yes, it's a very good policy that will synchronize the whole system to one. But you don't reject the one that is in the system already. Instead, you merge them. Because so reject here, amanfo bebre will be facing challenges. The challenge is see card their identity na me to me they acquire Ghana card. I don't know which one I need. Do I need a passport or I still have to use my Ghana card say me birth certificate, say me de koje me way me Ghana card. If I can't use my birth certificate to acquire Ghana card, then what identity can I use to acquire Ghana card before I made to me the Ghana card? No, I call process it for passport. We should know. Because to me, if I birth certificate in me need passport that I made a Ghana card. So therefore, you are telling me so I can call Hunto, I can call Maliba, take them to the center for them to go and say, oh, you're in Baron ye yenuya, or you free Ghana. You prefer that more than the identity of the person and the place the person was born. If the system have been compromised, it is the system that you need to work on. Among for netting machines, nechi. And on my birth certificate name foreigners. They don't even have affiliation with anybody in Ghana, on Wari or Ghana, on War Ghana, on Yesh. And no one was a but you don't leave the system and come and reintroduce another thing, leaving the most important one that is in the constitution. So to me, unless maybe I'm explaining reason to Omufi say and necessary, but say oh, cause foreigners could be now foreigner now about Chroma better that or see how any BBA and a tax no new rights of a citizen. Okay. Then when you travel and you go to abroad and you are finding it difficult to get your papers, who say Brony a racist? Who come when you're racist now also here?
Okay, Kingsley.
Republic of Ghana on the 7th of January 2025. I mean, Chairman Baron, Mason brother, he's been very stubborn these days. Anyway, he will counsel assembly later. Tame, we could document we were how. Oshechina what trade say Harvard Law Review, Volume 10, The Path of the Law. A speech a deliver on the March 25th, 1897, number 8, by a gentleman called Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr., every law student or every student of law knows this. But Ushia, legal systems and method, 1 and 2, definitely you talk about the constitutional realism. And or one of the American constitutional realism proponents, okay? That speech where you deliver, or can send people that the person may quote to her for the purposes of your conversation is that the prophecies of what the court will say in fact, and nothing more pretentious is what I meant by the law. As some of Cairo know. And according to Oliver Wendell Holmes, also say, Yeshua Mrana, kind of first statement now, the law, when we study law, we are not studying a mystery, but a well-known profession. We are studying what we shall want in order to appear before a judge or to advise people in such a way as to keep them out of court. You understand? And you can't law and ye mystery. And I say mystery. And he doesn't mean Yeshua. Namum a adibia a dahopefe a one quanchre so a dano quemo Yeshua and the two afufrofo. Near the boy say one tree a buy a bit me assisi one council. In any case, in this instance case, I can the citizenship of Ghana. Who is a citizen? I think if you read Act 591, the Citizenship Act 2000, Section 1, 2, and 3, and I think 4, a Kasafa, who is a Ghanaian and who is not a citizen of Ghana. But don't forget, say, the citizenship of Ghana is derived from the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And chapter 3, I think Article 6, deals with who is a citizen of Ghana. Now, what is the Constitution and the Constitution? You were trying to refer, but I don't have the hard copy here. So I'm going to read from the soft copy as I have it on my phone. I'll say, every person who, on the coming into force of this constitution, is a citizen of Ghana by law and shall continue to be a citizen of Ghana. So at the time when you trade the 1992 constitution, one more embra na the existing law certified and recognizes them as citizens, they continue to remain citizens under the constitution.
Just to help you, Yenya Isaacani or USA was sending a constitution. Chapter 3 of the 1992 constitution talks about the citizenship of Ghana. Or say, every person who, on the coming into force of this constitution, is a citizen of Ghana by law, shall continue to be a citizen of Ghana. So before 1992 constitution, Ghana. 2, subject to the provisions of this constitution, a person born in or outside Ghana after the coming into force of this constitution shall become a citizen of Ghana at the date of his birth, if either of his parents or grandparents or was a citizen of Ghana. And to see if your constitution about so obi bia ya wo no say wo Ghana na say wo na amanone na na nanom anane maame nim free Ghana oye Ghana ni nto ba o say a child of not more than 7 years of age found in Ghana whose parents are not known shall be presumed to be a citizen of Ghana by birth.
Sammy, please take that portion again. It's very important.
3 hono say
a child
of not more than 7 years
found in Ghana.
Age found in Ghana,
exactly,
whose parents are not known shall be presumed to be a citizen of Ghana by birth.
And Sammy, don't forget that child, it can be a white child or a black child, any race or any race.
So less than 7 years
exactly.
Papa.
Or Ghana.
Ghana mrase sakwada no. Yamfa so Ghana.
So
who is a Ghanaian? Waso.
Okay, Sammy. Saka Kriya Wakai settles the matter. Now, it's so shocking. The Woodtier and Samoa, the incoming Chief Justice, if she so gets approval from Parliament, response on the appointment committee, which was watched by the country, the whole world. It was very shocking because in the interpretation of the law must be interpreted to avoid possible absurdities. If the judge interprets the law, which in this case the Supreme Court have the jurisdiction of interpreting the law, the Supreme Court interpreted law was a interpretation so clear, and the understanding and the proposition for that interpretation should be so obvious that everybody can read and understand it. But the court no interpreting Mrano, then in Tiasiano it becomes a problem. You understand? And in this case, it's a problem. Now we go back to Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. The prophecies of what the court will say, indeed, so in fact, and nothing more pretentious is what I mean by the law. What he meant by this statement is that judges are human beings. And as human beings, they have their economic persuasions or their economic orientation, their social orientation, their political orientation, philosophical orientation, religious orientation, and other environmental factors are influencing our judgment. And because of this, judges sometimes interpret the law to reflect the values they believe in. You understand? And Oliver Wendell Holmes in this speech further indicated that even the criminal person or committed crime, now obehuni judge or he is more emboldened to commit a crime. For instance, who the same echo to judge or you're so religious, either Islam or Christian, are unbelieving in same-sex marriage. Now this has no continue anymore. You can read the outcome of the judgment. But so your business or just you can read the outcome of his judgment because judges are human beings. You understand? In this case, I shudder to say that Justice Kwesi Eni-Yeboah go down in history as one of the worst Chief Justices Ghana has ever produced. Because under the tenure, the Supreme Court of Ghana are taking decisions here. I think that the court must do some introspection and reverse those decisions in favor of preservation of its own integrity and the reacquisition of public trust. For instance, such judgment whereby I can say without any equivocation, say it is highly politically motivated. And I say so because I have this document in my hand, a Japanese book. It is purported to have been written by Dankwa Institute. I won't deny. When you go to page 31 of that book, as someone in paragraph 4, almost saying, the recent decision to exclude the use of birth certificate to prove one citizenship during the 2020 voter registration exercise is a clear example of the agenda to prevent so many people from registering for this year's elections. That was 2020, especially in our opponents' strongholds. We had statistics to suggest the negative impact it would have had for us had we allowed it. All this was done to pave a way for a resounding victory for MPP and Nanado in 2020 elections. When more can the secret in the Oforipenin Japan document that the Supreme Court decision to exclude the birth certificate was a political decision. I am not the author of this document. Okay? I'm not surprised. And sometimes the wise cannot always be wise. That is why Justice Tukono, the Chief Justice Nominee, was struggling to provide a rational explanation why the court have ruled that birth certificate cannot be a proof of citizenship. In any case, what shows that Justice Tukono is a Ghanaian? If we may ask, curiously. And of course, all the justices of the Supreme Court, what shows they are Ghanaians? And what shows that even Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is a Ghanaian? What shows? No proof. The only proof you can have is my birth cert. And that birth cert is issued by a statutorily created institution. In any case, if we are to go by explanations of Amene manner, it will be very difficult for a judgment from any court to be accepted. You know why? The only assembly court among the documents you file in the court is what we call affidavit. Affidavit is evidence under oath. And in the case of criminal prosecution, you rely on the evidence of the state attorney. That evidence of the state attorney is being carried out by a criminal investigative agency mandated by law to do that, be it Yoko, CID, etc. And they will come to court and tell the court that, my lord, it is evident, the evidence available to us indicates that on so and so date, Haruna Bahunto program, we are phone. Therefore, he is the prime suspect, and indeed, the accused person is guilty for stealing. The court we are phone nada. No. But it is the word of the investigative agency, the evidence they present before the court, against the defense. You understand?
Yeah.
It is the same way the Ghana, how do you call it? The birth certificate we are talking about. So if the whole court can sit down, I can say, birth certificate is no longer a proof of one's citizenship there. Hey, my goodness, we have a problem. And strangely, the birth certificate gives birth to passport, and the passport can be used.
Also give birth to national
ID
card. So,
but in any case, either of them, or mainly the Ghana, how do you call the birth certificate, cannot be used as one's citizenship.
Mamenkai messages
very problematic.
Bembe engage yera solo so abedo say First one say, good evening, Brother Same. Have we seen how stupidity has led our leaders who are our fathers and mothers? If that is the case, then none of the Supreme Court judges qualify to be there. They have to go back and register all their certificates and rewrite all exams before they can get to where they are now. It's sad. It's a sad something. This is Charles from Takrade. Good evening, Mr. Hunter. Thanks for your good work. May Allah bless you. I think this useless old fool man will destroy everything before he dies, because when you look at the things are going on, look at how the things are going, but I didn't blame him. Those who voted for him, may Allah kill him earlier before he do more harm to this nation. Thanks from Chairman Abubakar Media. Chairman Yamiwa Batro. Good evening, Hunter. What at all is going on in this country? This woman too is coming with something. NPP is a dangerous virus. Aram, Free Christian village, they are praying. Salaam alaikum. We thank God COVID-19 is over, but money we spent is not over, because Ghanaians want to know about it. Isa Free in Sawam Zongo. Sami, I feel sad for the way who is a citizen and not a citizen is being handled by the Apex Court is leading the country to a journey of destruction. Hunter, have read and heard of the French Revolution. That is what is on the fire they should set up. Yes, French Revolution. I think it's a very interesting revolution. So people know how people stood against the authority. Mr. Sam, why are you worried yourself? Don't you know that the CJ nominee defending her learned friends? Good evening, Brother Sami and your guest. According to Supreme Court ruling, which says that birth certificate is not identification of nationality, if I may ask, why is it that before you want to enter tertiary institution or public sector to work, why did the institutions or the company ask you to add your birth certificate to your CV? Does it mean that those of us who don't have passports are not Ghanaians from Agatemaba Johnson inside East Legon or Diaba? And then say, we're 18 years, now need passport, now need Ghana card. It means we need Ghana ni. So we need passport, now we need Ghana card, we need Ghana ni. Good evening. I'll say my name is Isaac from Omanjo. Keep on the good work job here. That's it. Mr. Host, most usual ruling in Ghana by judges is to say birth certificate holders cannot be a Ghanaian. Only in Ghana you can hear all these senseless things. I'll say I want the new appointed CJ to provide her birth certificate, and appointment committee should ask her how did she get her passport. By Raf Adenta, aka Deep Thinking, one or day Abre. And when I book my Goja request is on my account, so on the birth certificate, so on financial with the birth certificate. Good evening, Mr. Hunter. I don't know why you are worried about this judgment coming from the Apex Court. My kind of message. Okay, now okay, different one. Say the Apex Court of the land. Well, see, we all know that it's political judgment to pave way for the MPP to do what they want through the EC. Full stop. Apex Court of the land impone confusing galore. Next government led by the NDC will strengthen all these. Misty Paul, Edith Santa Maria. Good evening, Efu Hunter. I was very surprised hearing this from highly educated people who are managing the affairs of the law. To me, think we have been learning the wrong things since education was established in Ghana. From David Agbenyaga Jr., Adenta, New Legon, Nodiabre. Good evening, Aigbe Mafia. Simply put, our leaders of today are a bunch of useless people, idiots and lack common sense. Carlos Ofo Emmanuel. Hey, good evening, Brother Samuel. I can say that the leaders are think that leaders think that Ghana is for them. So they will do what they want. Thank you. Good evening. What you are saying is the plain truth and common sense. Tadi ni enua Mubarak edifri abre. Honto, the only thing is the MPP want to make money. The only thing is that MPP wants to make money from Ghana card. Secondly, want to suppress the votarians, hence reducing the NDC vote. Tony Ashaman. Well, see, I really understand the whole thing in two folds, although I'm not a lawyer. One, the birth certificate can be used as a citizen certificate if both parents are Ghanaian and being written on it. Two, the same time, not issue as a citizen because parent of the child could not be a Ghanaian, but same birth certificate. So here, if the law admits the birth certificate as a citizen of a state, it will include those whose parents are not Ghanaian. Good evening, host. Please, I have a nephew, and his father is having American citizenship, and then mother is Ghanaian. The child was born here in Ghana. I have applied for American citizenship for the child based on the father's status as an American, and it has been granted by the American embassy. Yeah, they will. One of the major documents they requested was the birth certificate. Even though we haven't first read what is on it, or say what is it? What is it? That is why the Chief Justice said it's a record that arrived as either the person is a citizen or not. There's a document in America read here who say we are Ghana and Sonia Ghana and Ghana. That's why I don't understand. If I have to read somebody's birth certificate to ascertain, say Nipa near Ghana and Sonia Ghana, then he tell me say I can't read the birth certificate to show say Nipa Smith no Benti Ghana. Hello, good evening, Mr. Hunter. So, if birth certificate cannot be a proof of nationality, when I want to ask our Chief Justice based on which criteria is she Ghanaian? Sometimes I understand education is not good for we Ghanaians because we lack this common sense. Benjamin Kwame Azuzu and Edwi Abrey. Good evening, Sami. What I can remember, our outgoing Chief Justice Kwesi Aniniabua is 5 million. You mean what you can remember about him is $5 million US, bribery allegation by lawyer Kwesi Frifa. All things being equal, I strongly disagree with the book Amaliba is quoting. What if one says the book he's reading is purported to come from their headquarters, Nabila and Ediwedia. But any power could to the source of a year, the Orkan way, and I will oracle, go, just go and see said Orkan and Yan. There is no need to argue about this. Hello, hello. So, do they even understand the meaning of citizenship at all, or what they thought about citizenship of a nation is different? If you have political judges who put away common sense, this is what you get. Nation reckless, God will punish you. Or Benjamin Kwame Zuzuri Fradenta Nodabre. Hi, Sami, good evening. The Supreme Court rule on birth certificates should not surprise you because the Supreme Court is politically intoxicated. Moses Yapimso from Moses Yapimso from Afenya Matehi Kunode Abreye. We say, brass, I may kindly ask Amaliba for me that when they come into power, which I know they will he be coming on the show for us to ask him questions, or will be one of those busy people? This is Charles from Takrade. So Kingsley, this question goes to you.
Should I answer?
Answer.
I will not be one of the busiest people in government because I don't intend to serve in government.
Okay, recorded. So, Pacho dating, so Facebook will be keeping it for you. Was it good evening, Sami? Akufo-Addo has destroyed everything in Ghana, including birth certificate. Sami, the NPP, in their quest to disenfranchise Ghanaians, brought this foolishness of irrelevance of the birth certificate. What is instructive is that at the time of acquiring birth cert, people do not have any bad plans in acquiring the document. But trust me, at the time of acquiring a Ghana card, even the name alone can make someone trying to become a Ghanaian lie and acquire the document. So by this by just this, one can easily say the birth certificate is much more superior to any other form of nationality in Ghana. But for Akufo-Addo and his wicked outgoing Chief Justice, who has caused a lot of damage to our democracy, including shielding Jane Adokwe-Mensah from answering her stewardship, even when she was subpoenaed. Faisal Mutaru in the different trouble constituency. Good evening, Hunter. We Ghanaians need to know what Al Jazeera wrote to the president because we pay him and we need to know thanks to their abraham. Solo, the issue about a birth certificate as proof of nationality or not popping up again during the vetting of Chief Justice Nominee last week. Were you convinced about explanation now or the MIN?
Met your chef when no crow is much Kinsley ne Sammy. No crow when I said the Chief Justice Nominee Toko no Kayano, a force within the remit of the Constitution. We hear Article 6 and the citizenship of Ghana. Na mama ready near say ya na ye tie for no we are too hard on ourselves asem ya na ye timpanimfo atemu a on fa the other side or the ya adwene wadi atem no ko atendidie build on mine 6:1 or say every person who on the coming into force of this constitution is a citizen of Ghana by the law shall continue to be a citizen of Ghana. Now is obia or your one or Ghana ha or two or Tian San Yeba Besa Constitution or Ghana. Watch it all. Now, also subject to the provision of this Constitution, a person born in or outside Ghana after the coming into force of this Constitution shall become a citizen of Ghana at the date of his birth if either of his parents or grandparents is or was a citizen of Ghana. So, Mammy and now, Papa, a Ghana near, we are Ghana. A child of not more than 7 years of age found in Ghana whose parents are not known shall be presumed to be a citizen of Ghana by birth. And also watch him. Ghana de Chachokra. A child of not more than 16 years of age, neither of whose parents is a citizen of Ghana, who is adopted by a citizen of Ghana, shall by virtue of the adoption be a citizen of Ghana. And to say in 1992, Anna Constitutive Assembly Koshia and the Constitution ye Emma. Our constitution is na ye mrapon yen tumi nye bibia bra be kotisa constitution ya na eden na obi ne chief justice obi a oba be hwe ye mrapon no so ye die diduma said ye wo constitution nu ngwa no de be ye adwuma no wona na anya adwe say ye wo bibia e be ka die tia no say e be ka fa birth set no dia na o say ye hye say ye constitution ye be amendment.
No, birth certificate information when they require and sana ya issue birth certificate.
You see, the fundamental in say yes, so mommy a Ghana near. But I won't say practical way. I know you aware say and you'll be a Ghana or birth certificate.
Sure.
Don't do in fact, don't do any birth certificate. Sure. And to what was I say, then you identify some of one as Ghanaians.
Because some parents free Ghana.
Absolutely. So what I'm on good birth set, but
Obia only birth set. Nene mami, nene papa free Ghana to a Ghana ni. Nasa ni pa krono ani yejitum so a Ghana ni only birth set. But so koye birth certificate ni a trod you are dancing go sampa o mami a Ghana ni o papa a Ghana ni ya wo hase ya. Sa ni pa no nya Ghana ni bio.
So the idea of birth set no ebeto ye kwan mu. Dia also busa won say answer na birth set beba na ye de ni hu so we Ghana ni na say we nya Ghana.
Ana constitution a
chire mu. So want to mean 40 man and I Supreme Court. Supreme Court ni jina Ghana mrapon no so. Say so ma me ye Ghana ni nko ade a. And the constitution na nka kire say ye identify obi o ye Ghana ni by birth set. Till until say ye be yes ade na free ho no. You cannot afford the Supreme Court. So what you say, we are being hard. It was a Roman emotions take center stage in everything. But ye mra na nka say ye di dwuma no. Why pa na affected say
okay, so this is my simple question. Birth certificate in so state say me ma me ye Ghana ni ma kire kura me ma me film. Baby I wo ekra na nkan o ma me ye Ghana ni o papa ye Ghana ni a kire baby a ye wo me. A baby I wo me so ye Ghana ni. Enti obi fa sa form no a o hwe so won timi say wo ye Ghana ni.
Oh say obetumi de birth set no achirama and the nipa na or make sa determination is about Ghana ni. But what is important is say sir ye ti kurom hayi ye ni mo bi o ye Ghana ni. Take it from me. Sort yasem. Enunti no ye fa emra na hwe ne say in a worst case scenario depending the birth set. We are na hu so ye Ghana ni. Sort yasem. Ne maame e na Ghana ni. Ne maame so obi wo manso anasa ne papa obi wo manso nipa no be challenge say we onye Ghana ni. If
that's the case, that didn't obi a we need birth set or no ntimi work to Ghana a card. National Identification Authority nko register any Ghana card without birth set.
Ghana the person identification have to go card
birth set before e be yama.
The Identity Registry Act no e kire say obi betumi di adanse say we Ghana ni.
And say so obi di mu adanse see ya gina ha say me maame ne me papa ya Ghana ni. Na se mini birth set and say so obi di mu adanse na che say me Ghana ni.
Di mu adanse.
Me maame ya we.
O maame onua.
To also obedi mu adanse.
Of course, say obi twe manso and as a direct wo honto say wo nye Ghana ni a e wo so obi na di adanse ye kokoti ye ka asem na say ye wunyi danse fo so ti ase
enya asem bia na obi yi danse ni it depends
na wuni e be
set pesa danse ni be mu a na me di adanse
eno tira me sha say be ka kire say ye pe ye wo infomso bia na say ye enko back to the constitution the constitution am ka kire e na kire nyoma a ubegina so aka so obi ye Ghana
ya kan kra dada
fantastic eno ti di enti na obi ne Supreme Court be nya problem.
And yes, will be the Supreme Court problem. The ruling, no, and as some of us here because any oko fele form no. Details are be given na papa din adwuma papa ye osuma papa somo maami baby a wo ni attesting them nyina. And the constitution is say will be an inchi free Ghana. Say ne maami anane na free Ghana e Ghana ni. So that one is established already. And I'm acquire passport, I'm acquire birth certificate, and I'm provided those details. No, so the good sam, Pame, a Ghana, and Papa a Ghana, near Ome Ghana. And the other thing will be fast up birth certificate. One to me, she will say, yes, Quabana, man, you name me a Ghana, and Papa a Ghana, near one Ghana to a Ghana.
Reality, your crumwa, your documentation, crying Ghana birth set. Togo Funya, a will be crumwa. Nigeria fu nyina obi okromwa Burkina fu nyina obi okromwa yade a your system ni robust.
Okay, so anti Ghana card dey foreigner be any Ghana card or Ghana
menim say atro foreign o foreigners
no ye ni foreigners say Nigerians ni some for can you be Ghana card or just say Ghana ni
who be
okay
so far me who be because you see the way Ghana card net here no very easy see bit me identify ade ye nyina ye protect because foreigner ba be wremu a na say ye check ka ono so bedi bi o enso na me no me na tua to a no ba bedi it is not in any way me hu de tia gofo ti kwa pa say as one part na beti me identify say wo mo a so ye person ye register for Ghana card a omo use Ghana your friend say birth set no omo nyina ye ndisi fo who can make that determination and as omo ye MB before and as omo ye CP before omo nyina say obi genuinely oye Ghana ni a me nyintum say ye betumi deny no kromu say mo nya your friend say Ghana card na bibisa I'm yet to hear so obi betumi aka okay akire me eno ti no say mraro na free say ye ko yenim no ye tumi digitize ye birth certificate say ye wo ya ni ama obi no ni ehu say ye kroje a ye betumi aka so obi anya dey ye nyusu birth certificate that is Supreme Court or master of his own or no betumi review the decision but pray wo mu die adwobre me en follow ade no me hwe nioma working kan nyina obi okra wonim nyina so ntia Supreme Court yes ade we
once a Supreme Court can you should agree said omo kan nyansa wom even when you feel say nyansa ni we should take it say nyansa
who determine the nyansa ni
just question am be sir
no oman no ye de tumi ama Supreme Court so omo na nkyerechire mrem mai me no me ni e mai sai tumi no enti omo e
so obi adwuma so nkonkoye na so manager na wafa na wotua ne ka no the actions and inaction doesn't make sense to you. I have no cause to challenge you.
You to me the sanko for the free. Obetumi petition say be jinamra we so say niema ABC dia. Your friend say Supreme Court here no.
Even without you petition say obey you panefro. You ntimi express yourself say master with this issue and make it doesn't make sense.
But what makes yours sensible than this? There must be a determination. Say what some now work no. Nyansa wo aba wo mu send the ono no kan. Based on what?
Okay.
So what you say? I don't know. Ma obi am fa say What you feel now what to judges attempt to free.
Let's move on to another issue. Independent power producers, independent power producers are rejecting government bid to restructure their debt. Our mark threatens that by June, if government fails to pay them, they will cut our supply. Why are we still here?
We are here because we are afraid to increase electricity and utility bills. So, yes.
From beginning of January this year, basically, why increase electricity by 48%? Okay.
Independent power producers, omo produce power. So omo toma omo toma your friends say VRA ne nagri omo VRA dia magri ko dia ECG di maham. Omo de ma ye individuals no. Now, components of electricity, cables ebebem your friends say machines omo die nyina no ye krefri amano nti dollar no kosro and also be kosro. Na say no kosro it is for them to pass it on to us. Yes, so that they be no demi say no buono could do 20%. Yen to me 5%. It means there is a gap of 15%. They be not a canon air pilot. And to me no me no use power no. As you enjoy realistic tariff. Ana abubwa
na ben na PURC ananse aban to electricity mu a Ghana fo aka se yentua a yentua
say ana me ka say the war power of aban and you be soon kakra bia na agya no and dia ba be du samrewi because idea we use there you can't tell me say you won't pay for it. And the other aspect of it is say when pure realistic issue can you nebedum and between say wunni kania ni bi na wutua de abode for it de na ope. That is where we are. And you know ya ka say independent power producers threatener minimum no power ya use a ya ntwa realistic one entina manabasa.
And two person chere Ghana for say over the years electricity ECG for too much just recently anyame adomu adwun e sha ase 18.36%. What they don't grab a can one, I think one electricity mu 48%, almost 50%. For the first quarter, I can say second quarter, I had to move 50%. And yet enough, say Ghana Futia and no name say abide the independent power producers in the car. We have to, you know, blaming young consumers and say yeah, realistic. Power supplies. That one you don't tell.
So what I'm saying is, yen use power, yen realistic. E been so one so.
O catch him say realistic. I remember to phone. We say phone ya 1 Ghana cedis. Metua mama 1 Ghana cedis. Na me call. This o could do na boka. We should be blame me say phone na 1 Ghana cedis.
Aban unfortunately aban Libya. Aban de bia o hwesa de man phone no ho beton.
Aban na top power ni free ya o man phone ho. Eno wa beton ya matima mufo. No agi scanner da kwa akoti o kanti aban Libya.
Aban Ghana would no aban we need ya from faso.
Odi dwa faso ECG
before ECG declare profit
before the coming of MPP ECG was making profit.
They never made any profit.
ECG was making
profit. ECG making profit.
ECG was making profit.
When was the last time ECG making profit?
And I catch you before the coming of your government ECG was making
a typical example between 2019 to 2022 freight inquiry the Kroma increased by more than 500%. One also crowd money your money never amanore neighbor. It is idea and the freight in your money being increased by 500%. A better than you got to your memoir, you have to 10% to 15%. Automatically, and your a fuel crude out of the power of generation in I. If you have a cost 10 times to 10 times. So now go more 10 times to 10 times. They will cover the full cost of it. But I buy end to me in Concord to say, me no me private business a cost run a cost above from an above. And until now, Macano about Palia day, a go to me no me near broken a go. Ye use light now, ye entria. And then ye pamucho, say Munya, but Mamma Miduno. 80 me fee say, ye quay anymore. Say ye started realistic because baby I call him Rebedra. Can you no crown a bedroom crown? Ye be cry. If the men are made producing a minion scantia, almost a new idea, and you can from me doing Jomoka.
As of 2016, ECG made profit of 500 million Ghana cedis.
ECG.
ECG.
From which source?
ECG.
ECG.
Go to Ghana web.
Electricity Company of Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah, ECG.
Yes.
2016.
It's not only 2016.
No, first of all, 2016, that can yes,
it's not only 2016.
No, but how can your position be tenable? Abra between 2013 to 2016, now you can't hear some new
between 2014
and on what basis
to
did they generate the
2016,
profit?
was there electricity in this country or not?
There was electricity, but it was not a consistent.
So you sell what you have.
But who sell what you have? Me what all other operational costs. That's after ECG.
Because ECG Kanya na the abrewon, Kanya na the abrewon, and I was just
Kanya or the Kanya Nisha. And you pan our form with so I knew money. Cashiers in the Tonya, no one in that tour. You put Ross and almost have woman to me, and young for so. This is not realistic, and it cannot be.
So you want to challenge, say ECG never made that profit?
They never. And anybody who come out with this concocted bullets, cock and bull story, no, must be called to the appropriate authority.
So you are putting your integrity on the line?
Not just my integrity, my whole body.
On the line?
Over there, don't catch up, say, yeah, say, ECG going down for so 500 million.
All right.
I'll go find way.
Let's hope for a year next week.
Next week, confirm audited financial
okay. Baron. Independent power producers say are buying debt restructuring more farm, so they are not ready for any debt restructuring program. And they have also threatened say by June, so buying two more car, they will cut for power supply.
Well, I'm buying money per kasa. Or share some mind per kasa, but to me, let's bring the reality. So lonim. Onimpa say, baby, I was here GC Kanu Yenji, any namin feature. Any have feature for companies akesiye, government sectors akesiye, o mu use power muntua. Nansen unto wante si achichibi. When you report so mutua, ano muntua.
Amotutua bia ECG force and confirmed about 5 billion within 2 weeks. They were able to recover about 2.7 billion.
Still a cow. Obi tika 5 billion. Nasi we 2 billion and 3 billion. Major one nisha ho. Oh so moji. Near the name, yeah, and feature fui. Name feature fui so boily gagum. You know, citizens are at fault, but the state is the major department I will blame. And was said, me, yes, here, a digita. Ye preachy digita, preacher, my say, I cry, I say, to cry, we need the passport, to me the Ghana card, cry, digita, do about digita, need to mean control your power system. Yeah, they bought fee buy. Man for cocoa ready. You see a nyashing free. Yeah, they prepaid buy. You see a nyashing free. You see no legal so cause coffee man for cram my own to me rafianum. And the baby boy a poem. Me name some who do what they are.
Oh, communities.
Oh,
special quotation.
And yeah, it's the last me Jina me honor so to giddy now. I think say you have the video. A jar told me the enemy say. Nah, there it. Imagine so be a nifie, and I nifia. See, I didn't know Babonti and so bono. So, young building system ni you. And yes, idea revenue. May see a problem with Chrome high, you bet loans. I just say you develop a strategy, you bet generate internal funds with Chrome. It's your mudika. Sa haircut no be anywhere, or per se be now. You're pensioners for a 1 year demonstration about it. Obi am per se be can. Obi eniwa ebeka no nto wo high class ese eti waketua so a obubefu ba ya tuma obenya nije obi ape profit no. And then this is the situation na ya de omoka na me supply ma oni e de mechanic ntia. What do you expect? So you have to say the reality. What if you say ba wo ya na bibia say cover abanya ono no e the lawmaker ono no hihye mra make ye the camera be bobo kwan ho say de che obi obeko speed ni sa niama unim scan ke benye film traffic light e boy yellow anipa ni betia break no wetwem. The system is there. Let's enforce it. Yen to me enforce it because of politics. Who are na mo Greater Accra minister or start edwumaden oye party for ya TB say Greater Accra party impenifo ni bi ene ni nyantokwa wo ho said the oye no ombelu su vote wo mokola
o sha se na party for ni yo.
No, one TB. Opa mun crofo prime one TB say party for the ne kwa betena peace FM akebi
now start
say for ne ko ntu ejai
or start party for
so a party for so no hwe na adwuma
na so no so na make ni nyina politics ni nyina politics
yeah
ni nyina politics obi dem go akoda
it doesn't make sense
one be kan obehu dey you nation they are all serving parties if they are serving the nation majority they are serving party.
Now so started that party no say that party name pere so then
I don't know kan ya no say no mu nim say bia be ma omo lose vote o mo kola
e be na yelu that vote no
na so mo go na mo ton de okwan mo no mo to abama mo e no mo dey complain akọ regional office e na regional so afre ne say masa dia wo ye obe ma ye lose vote nti ebe ye ajai. I am saying say the laws are there ye enforce law no omo e chichi omo nyina obi akọ akoko ye jeli no obi bia ECG power 3 billion.
What your
3 billion.
Sanyo to ni ya friend D Black. D Black ekoko ye esadum so vigil no ka ho bi. Unum so we electricity worth 400,000
allegedly.
Allegedly. This is not nothing like allegedly. This is I can put the story for you.
Sorry, you can be there, but
allegedly. Authentic. I'll get it.
You see,
I'll get it for you.
I'll get
it. Defense, you know. Yeah, we have been defending
you. So the platform so all cars much obi akọ electricity. And I'm saying, well, we are there, I'll see a question too.
And I'm, yes, and I'm catching say this is not allegedly. He was caught easy before Kokwachi.
Then let's assume say government sectors so it was alleged. Allegation.
Yes.
And they have published allegations in my
sorry, no source no ever.
Oda kasa me
publish allegations in my reality. And they have published allegations. Because I say
portals bebre on more.
How did the portals got to know about
story? You are in the media, you know
how
to
so you should know say the authorities mentioned it and they also carried it.
No, someone depends on the writer.
We are defending bro.
You see, you put inside
Obi say Obi na say me mbo Obi eni wa babodi.
Say Obi said that D Black
no so no evidence no ka me mbo Obi adin. I'm not mentioning the story.
D Black's nightclub disconnected by ECG for power theft. Okay. This is the nightclub.
That's
Oasis.
Yeah.
The nightclub.
Oasis Pool and Shisha lounge in Accra has been cut off from the national grid for power theft. The nightclub, which is said to be owned by popular hip live musician D Black, is located at Cantonment behind the police headquarters in Accra. Operators were caught red-handed by the National Task Force of the Electricity Company of Ghana for bypassing the meter to use electricity. The task force visited the premise of the lounge where it uncovered the illegality which is alleged to have taken place for the long time. So this is it.
So why are they not prosecuting him?
Almost now quarter me I'm trying to Ghana make just 400,000 Ghana cedis. I'll get continue get out. I'll get out now. You know what? So first, he stole electricity. I'll get it for you. Amaliba, take your 10. Let me go and see Oracle behind the door. Take your 10. Which one?
Coming from Twitter page called Datanomics. Omo peke this feed from the minority leader.
Minority leader. Yes.
On the birthday, I wish you belated birthday. I say, as part of the IMF conditionalities, Akufo-Addo Bawumia government agreed to increase tariffs, electricity tariffs every 3 months. So far, electricity tariffs has gone up by 75% cumulatively, 27% in September 2022, 29.96% in January 2023, and 18.36% in May 2023. Sammy? Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Asem tiawa ena woho. Na Onyankopon ka se yembo onipa yensu ni enseso. Yembo onipa Say you su any so. Na me busa o anyi bia mampine kufa na ba o me yakopon na ba o mo na.
I say hunu na ka je what be that. Now tie konto. What you say mo walk?
To
Why na ni nyame na ball no?
To aso. A question obi sir.
A
rhetorical question to aso.
No, because I cannot understand it. Wonipa woni tema woni abadaye awudi sem adokru no ma abona dwene mo bew na bone afifiri aba woni mu so mampine kufo na ba womia ni hu bigda. This is the man. Look, what's the electricity company of Ghana are making profit in 2016. Are you for real?
Omo make profit
in this country. ECG made profit. Grico made profit. All under President Mahama.
Now life na movie.
How do you call it? Boss made profit. Tema Oil Refinery made profit. All the entities in our energy value chain are making profit.
Now can
under NDC government.
Can you also make profit?
What are you talking about?
Also making profit.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And then, despite a human President Mahama, a year jamo, one man has so. Can Oforiata Kujina Parliament Kujina? Was it Upper East or not? No, not Upper East, the Northern region or so. They know for Upper West. When he was campaigning for the approval of e-levy, we are not going to go to IMF. The consequences are so dire. We are a proud nation. We have everything. We know how to do it. We are not going to go to IMF because IMF is not a solution to Ghana. And the right President Mahama now, as someone confirmed to say, bro, yeah, these are the people that they sent out. And then you are there. What is your justification for going to IMF now? Can you tell us? And then
Ukraine.
Please. Ukraine what going to COVID?
Ukraine and COVID.
So these people, they are so incompetent, ineffective. Such a certificate-less lawyer sold this man and imposed and made as the president. Look, Okasa, you have seen who Papa saw a daft because he doesn't have any ideas. The man doesn't read.
Maybe Sana.
He has no knowledge about what he's talking about.
Solo may see it from.
Well, when we wind it down, what time you question IMF and son, as we speak, Sammy, I hear you CG tariffs in call number 2 more. And I hear the power producers in call order Mokau. Before 2020 elections, the independent power producers came out and threatened to cut down supplies. That is, can only brace ourselves for hard days to come because doom will be worse than what the nation have witnessed before. Despite all the hard work of President Mahama, the ENI gas, the trouble gas, the terminal, how do you call it? The American plant they buy, the car power they buy, and all the batches they are building here. Any Juma ye now I hand it over to you. Couldn't manage any of them.
Assalamu alaikum.
And he was Sami, you don't tell me. This mismanagement occurred at the time Alan Koyochi Mate was serving in the government.
Now what's your problem?
I didn't smell on the boy.
Mama,
continue.
Now you are making an allegation. You are making an allegation. I'll tell you. Mama, who the ideas are there more ideas?
It's our time.
126 factories working.
Please.
Business resources working. African continental free trade.
Africa continental free trade. Started at the NDC and the headquarters. We built it. We built the headquarters.
What we are talking
Solo.
Where what?
Saa building na mo kana ifa ne se. Enya na British Council. Enya na British Council. Enya na wo British Council.
Adam muru cho yes da.
Solo.
Opposite the house. What is here?
Solo.
What is here?
Solo.
Enya na yes da building. What is here?
Solo.
And that's not that. Who go just that? Now who dream? That is your dream. Visionless party.
Do you have dream?
Vision last
Such
time.
a clueless people. See what you have done to the country.
Oh my general no quote here. Let there be light.
Solomon and Kasa.
What are the other?
Samuel said, as we speak, under IMF conditionality, 4 state institutions almost 10,000 AD from now before the end of September. Senate account. Huh? The city company of Ghana account, Ghana Water Company account, and one more.
Conditionalities.
Yes, they will let them off. And mind you, Chinese for air targeted Terminal 3. Tema port Omubeji. And then you good year chef from air China for there.
Wow.
Yes, G tax here. Yes, G tariffs. And then what is happening? Tariffs are here to the and independent power producers in the whole. All the tariffs are going to the Chinese government. Because of Bosia and Peneku Fado. A boy want for a journey and to the Debeduha.
Okay.
Do you think it's right?
Mami.
Such an old man of his caliber who could have born you to that way. Who have been sent down in there.
Assalamu alaikum, salam. If our active justice birth certificate starts appearing around the middle of the 19th century, why now in Ghana birth certificate is not proof of nationality? Yenya Maharaja, if they say birth cert is not important, why have they created the department and paying people with taxpayers' money? God save us from them, Ben and Fitema. Good evening, Same. Per what has come out from the court, do I still need birth certificate to apply for a passport? Brasame, I have come again. If I may ask those judges who says birth certificate is not identification of nationality, then through their whole life working in a public sector as workers, if I may ask, which document did the government institutions use to certify them before they were employed as workers? I got Timothy Johnson inside East Legon. After all, each for himself, God for us all. We Ghanaians are messing up our democratic rights in using the Chief Justice as an overlord in all decision making, which I think it would be right or wrong in passing a credible judgment because his or his appointment is politically motivated. From Mubarak, Takradi Nodaba. Good, Sami. I said, what document does the Chief Justice and his unanimous chronic use to acquire their passports? Even the so-called ECOWAS card, what document apart from the guarantor system do they use to acquire it? The nonsense must stop. Are we in a banana republic or does Ghana belong to those Achem mafias? My name remains Commissioner the General. No, so the CJ nominee is saying that I don't have birth certificate to apply for my international passport. Brass, I may kindly tell Solo that we are not stupid as he thinks we are. We know what is going on. Ask him if he's a Ghanaian, because I don't see him as one. This is Charles from Takradino de Abre. Good evening, Same. The Constitution of Ghana is totally different from personal opinion. Therefore, one opinion cannot be accepted as law, even if the person is right. No, until the Constitution of Ghana is amended. Let's not mix orange with apples. They are not the same. Nabila, LPG, and anyway, Abre. Abusia. I never make a jumadi nina. I see. I mean, I don't want time and ask. Then the way I've been so doing, back over her 1 million. I didn't never go here and 1 million. Next week. Thank you for your what's the work put credibility and your entire body on the line? Say ECG never made profit before the coming of your government. Now, all banks are making sure say all the more detailed financials ever back. What is system? What matters is the proof. It's not proof. Yeah, all the financials. You get it. And none of them they are determined say omunya profit ana. Abusia, I had a